This is AI Blueprint from Massachusetts, and this is a fast-paced status meeting that we rip through a bunch of mini projects here. For folks who aren't aware, our mission is a nonprofit. Mission is to implement practical and tactical steps to attract, retain, and grow AI talent in Massachusetts. And for the last few months, more and more people also encouraging us to also take a digital leadership here. So it's about attracting, retaining, and growing. And growing means both education and skill upgrading in businesses, but also taking a leadership mission in terms of helping digitally. I know there's 6 or 8 different, I don't know if it's 6, maybe 4 or 5 different cities, Cincinnati, Columbus, and others that are calling to this call to get best practices and ideas to share and take that as well. Website, Slack, I think a lot of people know that. For people who are new, welcome. I think it's important, a few things here. We've talked a lot about that there's a group email in HubSpot. So if you haven't seen that, go to our website. You can log in. You'll get updates from us. We do have a Slack. I think there's 150 or 160 on the Slack here. Folks are trying an AI group, and we are focused today on really getting updates on what we call mini projects. So these are 2 to 3 people who get together here and focus on a project and with a milestone to get done in 30, 60, 90 days. People have been here before. This is not a discussion meeting. We're really about actions and stand-ups. Before we jump in, just a few kind of ground rules. We have nothing to do with how the money gets allocated. We are supportive of, but we aren't involved with the AI task force, the governor. So we have no access or influence at all on how the money is going to get allocated. So all the people who contact me and everyone in the group here, sorry, we can't help. All the people who offer us free services, we don't want them. We really want to stay neutral and everything else, and just really get things done and stay in a very volunteer focused organization here. If you haven't signed up on the list, please do. Let me post that again in the chat. It's very helpful for networking and everyone else to see who's here. We do have personas or subsegments defined, and those are great. One in particular is really focusing on new and current recent grads and new students. That's such a strength of this area. We want to continue to focus and promote that and support that. Lots of upcoming events coming up here, and we'll talk about a few of them as we go, but there's certainly one on Sunday that's a free event at 5:30 at Timeout Market. That's right down the street from Fenway. There's 200 people who have RSVP'd already for that. I'll put I'm going to do it now before I forget. The RSVP in the Slack here. It's a great way. Timeout Market, if you haven't been there, it's like a huge food court for adults. It's got a bunch of tables in the middle and bars and foods around the outside where people can go and socialize and grab a drink. And it's really a fun mix. So if you're around Sunday between 5:30 and 7:30, please stop down. We've got Liquid AI, hot AI startup out of Boston is doing a launch. John Warner, I think, is going to give us an update on that. And we have a very first AI career fair, so citywide, and Judah will give us an update on that in a little bit here. So let's jump right in. We go through I'm showing this the task force. So Roy or Tom, do we have you on the line? Maybe not. Does anyone have any? Is John Warner, anyone else have who's on the task force have an update they can share?
I know the next meeting is in November, and I'm helping to find a location for it. And I think they're going to circulate the report soon and get some feedback and use it. But yeah, I don't want to speak for the governor's office, but I know they've been working hard and a lot of stuff going on.
Great, great. Um, Judah Phillips, are you on?
I am on. Can you hear me?
We can, yeah. Give us an update and tell us what the asks are for this exciting event coming up.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. I appreciate it. So, Genesis here, Paul and I got together in March. We both were doing these separate social events and wanted to create an event during the day that was more directly focused on commerce and improving the economy. So we landed on this idea of creating jobs. And so we created the Workforce Development and Career Fair, scheduled for October 29th, 12 to 5 p.m. at Heinz Convention Center. In terms of no available capital from the state or anyone, like I'm self-funding this. We've got sponsors, so we're going to donate the proceeds to charity. We've got about 500 people signed up. There are about 17 companies that are attending in various capacities. They range from AWS and the VP of Gen AI and GM of Gen AI there, to startups that are well funded, like the CEO of Maven AGI, to amazing supporters of the Boston local economy, like WEX. So it's happening. We've toured the facility. It's all T's and C's dotted and signed, and we're just on track to execute it. It's free for seekers. There is a sponsorship charge for sponsors. So the three asks are around awareness. So if folks on the phone can promote the event, and I shared some links in the chat over their socials or through word of mouth or anything. You want to provide free services to Massachusetts, you have an ad network, start targeting people in the local area. It's bigger than the city too, Paul. It's Massachusetts, but obviously it's going to be bulk of greater Boston. We do expect people coming from out of the state as well as from the western part of the state. The other thing is attendance. So if you're in the area and you'd like to attend, please do. There's going to be a panel in the morning. It's going to have we'll start off with someone from the governor's office speaking. That's TBD. Secretary Howe has recorded a video. Then we'll go into a panel that I'll moderate with Carol Myers, who's a local investor, former CEO in a lot of companies you've heard of. Gentleman, Raj Agarwal from formerly Localytics CEO, but now at AWS, Maven AGI's CEO, Jonathan Corbin. And we'll have Jesse Harry, who's the executive director for Workforce at WorkHuman. Potentially other speakers. It's from 12 to 5, as I mentioned, so not too much time as we initially anticipated for more sort of career training. Maybe we'll do that another time. So attend if you would like to attend. And then the final thing is conversion, right? And so this is just something that, it's already profitable, I believe, assuming we don't get extreme overages by the Heinz. It will be able to make a nice donation to a local Massachusetts nonprofit, TBD. Figure out who that is. But if you know anyone who wants to sponsor, we're willing to do whatever it takes to bring in additional sponsors. The other thing I could add is Northeastern's Institute for Experiential AI is co-hosting. What that means is they're providing some logistical and spiritual as well as social support. Not necessarily financial. So sponsors are always important. And if anyone else wants to get involved, we have a meeting at 4:00 today, though I may be a little delayed at that one, Paul. I have some real work creeping in during that hour on a Friday. We meet, there's a group of probably about 8 or 9 people who are very active in it. Skills Project AI Skills, Soft, there's a bunch of folks join and meet. Overture Partners, who's been really helpful. And I know they're on the call. They've been running point on business development and awareness. So anyway, not to be too long in the tooth, but it's awareness, attendance, and conversion. So if you want to help in any way whatsoever, reach out to Paul or me, and we're happy to have you. I'm looking forward to a successful event. The next one will be a lot bigger. And if you want to start talking about that post the 29th, happy to have you involved in the discussion for the next one as well.
It's fantastic.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Job seekers, number one thing. So we really need to get the word out to college students and job seekers. So John Warner, I know you're doing a bunch of exciting things. You want to share? Give us an update.
Great. So I'm in the middle of making the slides. I could go right now, unless you have someone you want to throw in ahead of me. Otherwise, I'll go right now.
We can, if you want a few minutes, as, Katie, are you on? Katie, you want to give an update on the 92nd?
Sure. Yes, no problem. Hi, all. Katie Manti, marketing guru. I'm working with some other marketing friends on this 90-second video. We've had a couple of calls, but we got to continue our discussions. So if anyone wants to join us, there is a Slack channel. It is a private one. I don't know if it's possible to make it public so everyone can weigh in. So happy if any administrator of the tool is able to change it to a public Slack channel, but there is a marketing and PR one out there.
Katie, I think, Javed's Javed, are you on by chance? Anyway, if you can send me a note, I'll connect you with
Sure.
Javed. You can help with
Yeah,
that.
no problem. Yeah, so we're meeting as well, and we're talking about how we're going to turn some of these single videos. So I thank you to everyone who's given us some single videos from the personas in terms of why do students want to stay in Massachusetts? Why do founders start their company in Massachusetts? We've got no shortage of reasons why Massachusetts is a great place. It now becomes, if we want to do a 90-second advertisement, who's really our audience? And that's what myself with Amanda and Cara and others are talking about.
That's great. Yeah, and thanks you. I think this is really an important thing here. We have thousands and thousands of talented students come to this region every year. They're pouring in, they're getting trucks stuck under our bridges, and none of them get a commercial on what's going on with tech or AI. And this is the first and foremost reason to do it. And you should not be able to leave Boston without seeing this video sent to you 3 or 4 times. And ideally, it will spawn others. They'll start doing the same thing. Short video, obviously, as everyone knows, the killer communication form factor for TikTok and everything else. And this generation knows it. So thank you, Kate. That's great. John, let us know.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay, go ahead, John.
Yeah. All right. So this is kind of homemade, but I think it'll do justice. All right, view. All right. Can you guys see my slides?
We can.
All right. We had 100 people 2 Sundays ago, AI retreat at Danny Hillis's. A number of people on the Zoom were there. It was awesome. For those who don't know Danny Hillis, he invented Pinch to Zoom when Apple and Samsung were suing who did it. They realized it was him, and so no one won that suit. But it bode well for the region, and I'm going to do a number of these a year. So thank you for everyone there. MIT Decentralization AI Summit. This is going to be at the MIT Media Lab on Friday, October 11th. Sandy Pentland, who's now at Stanford, I talked to him yesterday about it. He has been always passionate about decentralization. I think AI kind of lends itself to empowering decentralization. Ramesh is really leading this. Rasker, the Lemelson Prize winner, that's like the Nobel in engineering. And it's a morning event, and it's a Luma, and I think it filled up. I opened it up a little bit longer, but like 400 people can come. It's free, and we're also going to stream it, and I think they have a few hundred, maybe 500 who are going to watch it online. I'm going to curate a block on startups, so if there are any AI companies that want to pitch during that, there's a way to get on that link. Okay, Liquid AI event. So these are the 3 co-founders. Danielle LaRousse is the other co-founder. There's Danielle LaRousse. So on October 22nd, the top of the Prue, they just redid it. If you haven't been up there, it's beautiful. Looking out at MIT, there's going to be a 100-person dinner the night before this kind of like Apple-esque launch the next day. We have the CEO of Shopify, the CTO of Shopify. We have the CEO of GitHub. We have a lot of like major players coming into town to be at that. If there's any major Fortune 1000 C-suites that you all know, love to include them. We're at like 70% full, but I want to get the right people there. So please let me know. Feel free to email me. And then the next day, this is Kresge. This is the largest venue at MIT. This is where a few months ago, Sam Altman was interviewed by Sally, the president of MIT, in the venue. We're going to bring in, don't tweet this anywhere, and this isn't the color scheme, but we're going to bring in 3 digital screens and attach them and have some really cool imaging. We're working on that. But we already have around 1,000 people signed up for this, but I want to get amazing people here. And so all of you are welcome. I know Paul sent out a link. But I want this like Beatles come to America, that this is something that Boston doesn't do that often. And I want to get young people there. And this is where Liquid's going to show a lot of its new developments. And on Monday, there was a white paper that they published, and I think it's gotten over 1 million views if you add up all the different press. I was going to show a few slides of all the media. And then in terms of the 1,000 people that have signed up, I just created these pie charts so you can see who's coming. So, it's an interesting group, but want more people. Then the next day, Danielle LaRousse just came out with a book. I'm holding it right here. And she wrote it with Greg Moore at the MIT Media Lab on the 24th at 6 p.m. I could hold like 300 people there. We're going to interview, she's going to talk about it and do a book signing. So would love for that to be a place where the next Apple or Google gets discovered, because 2 people meet each other there. So, or maybe you find your spouse. So definitely come. And also you learn a lot. There's a governor with the book the other day. MIT AI, New York City. I know this is about Massachusetts, but I see New York and Massachusetts and Philadelphia as like a super region. And I'm one of the organizers of MIT AI New York City. There's Sammy. He was a former Googler who has a startup. He's presenting my year up at MIT. My intern, Shudansu, one of 4 kids that got into MIT from India, is running something really cool at the event. And if anyone has some AI research that they want to present there, let me know. And then this is Planet Action. This is happening. These are the 3 themes. A lot of AI is going to be woven into this. It's at CSAIL, MIT Museum, which is an amazing resource. If you haven't been there, you got to check it out. We're going to have a 2,000 person kind of opening event there on the 16th. And then we're also doing it at Sloan Business School. And these are all scalable ideas in sustainability, and we're going to use AI to help find them and AI to help scale them. Then on November 7th, 2 days after the election, I'm working with IEEE to organize an AI event, 2-hour program at Microsoft Nerd Center. I haven't started curating this, but if people want to speak there, it's going to be recorded. There are 400,000 IEEEers, and I want to get the content out to that community. These are all those 70 speakers for that climate thing I mentioned. And then December 5th is the 20 ventures from the AI venture class every Thursday that Ramesh and I lead. That's going to be, people should come to that. It's right here. This is actually where the book signing is going to be. And we're looking for judges. This was 2 years ago, judges. And then Stata Center, TEDx MIT is going to have an AI theme on December 7th. If anyone has leads, I only put MIT folks on stage, but anyone can be in the audience. And then already curating for the Dome. And April 15th is going to be the enterprise event at the Media Lab. And then I'm also curating talks for the state on Massachusetts' 250th anniversary. We get to claim that a year before the country does. And so I want folks who can talk about the past, but also celebrate where we're going for the future. And I want a lot of AI talks in that. And then last thing, Sunday Club, wanted to give a shout out for them. They meet every Monday. It's a hackers club at CIC. Yep. So those are a few updates.
Fantastic, John. So incredible, exciting things. John's a force of nature. So single-handedly unique asset in the region here. So fabulous, John. Let's keep driving on some of the other team updates here. We did the video, we did John. Let's see. Sal, are you on for Focus Grants?
Sal's not, but he asked me to step in for him.
Okay, please. Go ahead, Alex.
Thanks. Yeah, he has to be somewhere else right now. He just wanted everyone to know that we have a beta link that we posted in the general. And we'd love anybody who is involved in grants or are interested in grants or might actually use them to look at this and give us like whatever honest feedback. If the feedback is this is nice but not useful yet, here's how it could be useful, that would be the best kind of feedback, because I know Sal's really the lead on the product management for this, and he's really looking to make this really either a useful tool or to move on. So we're really at that stage where it's got a lot of potential, but we really need to know where people would like to see it go next.
That's
And
fantastic.
that's all.
Thanks, Alex. Any other asks for the group? Just a
It's really that. Look at it. You can join our Slack where I'm always posting updates about the tech. If you're interested in vector search, that's really where this has gone. So if you want to join and help with the tech, I would love for that. If you want to just join and test, if you have expertise in grant writing and want to explore how this tool could be used to write grants and not just like find them, write grant applications rather, that would also be really great.
Wonderful. Thanks. Exciting. Serge, are you on? You want to talk about Sunday?
Yeah, can I share screen? Do you hear me?
Please go ahead.
Hi, everybody. So whoever is not looking at the screen, look right now. I'm going to present Sunday Club in 1 minute and then do a demo. So you're going to see if it works. So my name is Serge. Me and my friend Artem and our friend Leah at MIT started this club 9 months ago. We get together every single Sunday and we build a prototype from scratch. If you go to our website, sunday.club, you can see we try to build in public because we want to educate people. So we always put a demo link for everything that we built. We put the code up and we also do a write-up. So we do a blog. So I'm going to present to you very quickly what we built last Sunday. In Sunday, we have 2 goals, right? We want to push the envelope of what's possible to build in 1 day. So in essentially less than 14 hours. And the second goal is we want to educate. So I'm going to tell you about what you could build in 1 day. So we built this tool called Cairo last weekend at the AGI hackathon that we organized. So there was like many teams. This is one of our teams. The idea is like, imagine you're a company and you want to look for leads. So people who might be interested about your concept. So you can go to our website here right now. You can say my company is Sunday Club and this is my website. And then you can give some company description. So let me go to Sunday and then plug in something about us. It's here. So this is what we do. Oops. And essentially what I do here is I submit. And what happens is I spin up a bunch of AI agents that essentially will now try and build hypotheses about what kind of businesses would be interested in Sunday. So this AI agent starts to reason what kind of business segments they might be interested, as you can see here from my screen. So hypothesis 1, Sunday Club can significantly reduce the gap between theoretical knowledge and practical applications of AI by providing hands-on experience. It identifies pain points, what we can solve for somebody, and what's the kind of one-line pitch for this is. Here's a second hypothesis. It's a collaboration with prestigious institutions and companies positions Sunday as a leading AI club, potentially attracting top talent. So we could, elevate the projects for people in industry, and so on and so on. So it builds these hypotheses, and what it does then is it goes on the internet and then searches for people who might be interested in this or companies. And essentially, I'll show you something pre-prepared, so it's running in real time. It essentially, like says for this hypothesis and this pain point, this is your pitch. These are the people you should reach out to, right? It gives you description, people, where they're based, links, and then it actually builds in real time. It builds a pitch deck for each hypothesis. So this is literally created in like 5 minutes.
So, Serge, so this is a great example of you guys actually picking up some tools, doing something in a day, and this is one example of it. And how can the group help?
Exactly. So one thing we're doing, as I mentioned, is we want more like the best hackers to come to us, or people who really want to push the envelope. That's one. So route these people to us. We meet every single Sunday, as John mentioned. The second thing is the second part of Sundays, we want to educate. So we've just established a nonprofit. We would love to speak to people about fundraising. We really have never fundraised for nonprofit because we want to come and do it full time ourselves. And just this January, we submitted a course proposal for MIT for a course called for the IIP course, How to Ship Almost Anything with AI. where we're going to be teaching people what we've learned over the last 9 months. And we potentially want to scale this to other institutions, to other departments, make a specific educational workshops for folks at Sloan, at HBS, in BU, Northeastern. So we would love to collaborate with people on this.
Fantastic. It's super exciting. Thanks, Serge. Well, keep driving here. Erica, you want to do an update on measuring success? Are you on?
If you want to pull up your slides, I just added some content right into that.
Pull them up. Thank you.
Yep. So first off, I'm really excited to announce that the project is now complete as of today. Yay. So huge thank you. We had 8 members, volunteers contribute to this project. And actually technically even more than that. So just huge shout out. It's been a really fun time collaborating. So last month we delivered the scorecard for a AI blueprint for mass, which you see here. The next slide down, Paul, I think it should show up maybe, is our second deliverable, which we finished this week, which I'm sending today to the state task force, which will be our recommendations on how to measure state versus state. So this isn't something that we're doing, but because we are already knee deep into the measurements, the team decided we wanted to give a recommendation over. So this is kind of the key areas that we think would be best to focus on from a AI to AI measurement of success, state versus state. And then the third measurement, next slide, Paul, is the final one that we did, which was we are excited to announce that one of the outcomes from our success group was to have meetups outside of 495. And so we actually have some people from WPI on the call today, but we're excited to announce our first AI Blueprint for Mass Central Mass meetup, which we're really excited about. I'll post the registration link in the chat here. Please let me know if you have any questions, but it's free. We hope everyone will come out. We're going to have a great panel with National Grid, Microsoft, Infused Innovations, my company, as well as a fourth one, which we are finalizing as we speak. But networking, light lunch will be included for free, and a great panel on generative AI and responsible AI. So a lot of great things. And Paul, if you can jump back up to slide 11. I think it's 11. Yeah, the asks from our group. So now that we're finalized, the asks are, we're looking for a volunteer or two to pick up the shovel to keep the track of the AI blueprint for mass measurements of success here. So most of the data is already widely available. We just need a spreadsheet to be tracked. So if someone wants to volunteer to do that going forward, that'd be great. And we're also, our second goal was to have another event outside of 495 before the end of the year. So if anybody has any locations or groups that want to do that, we would love to see that going forward.
Fantastic. Erica, just great work. I think we talked about this group as not thinkers or doers, but now we all this activity and you've had a great thing of actually starting to measure it. I think you've also really modeled taking a project, driving it to conclusion, putting a stop on it, putting that brick on there, stepping back, feeling good about it, having clear action items, and expanding it to other parts of state. So just fabulous work.
Thank you. Thank you. We're 4 days over our allotted timeline that we put out when we first started. So I figure that's pretty good.
Yes, really, really exciting. So thank you. Excellent work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep driving here. Playbooks. We got a couple people doing on that. Who's giving an update on playbooks?
Beth is here. I can give an update. Adam asked me to. So last week we have focused on the backbone. It's like the background, generic information, why Boston, why Massachusetts. And then going forward, would like to focus on doing the playbooks with a scenario per persona. Let's say if you want to move from blah, blah state to Boston, or you have a chance to move to another state, why Boston, for example. A company executive is explaining that to the other members in a presentation. So while we're doing that, we could benefit from this backbone presentation that we have prepared. And we'll do multiple scenarios like this and multiple playbooks. For example, a graduate from Caltech, why would he choose to come over here instead of anywhere else, that kind of stuff. And then actually I can send a link in the group so that we have the presentation here. If you'd like to make comments, that would be great. So how it was organized is that each slide has a comment slide, and with the picture of that slide after that slide. So you can write your name, the comment, what the comment is about, and then the details. And then also join the Slack channel. If you'd like to, just send a note to Adam or Beth or me, then we can add you in as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. And again, I know there's a couple different use cases. If one use case might be, I work for a big company and I'm a Gen AI enthusiast. The company's thinking about where to put their AI center of excellence. They're looking at Seattle, Austin, and I want some extra slides or data to be able to make the case for Boston. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Super. Thank you. Excellent. Very exciting. We've had all these basics we don't do. I've had now 3 people in the last 3 weeks working at companies reaching out and asking for what's the packet for making the case for moving to Boston or investing in Boston here. So I think there's lots and lots of real basic small things that we can do, and this is a really exciting one here. Luke, are you on? You want to give an update on that? Oh, Beth, sorry.
So I just want to make one more quick comment. I think another section that we're imagining adding is sort of like all the reasons why people say they don't want to be here, and helping make the argument for why those should not deter you. So it's sort of the negative argument, right? We want to add that into the playbook to sort of at the end, almost like a Q&A. So if there are things that, I don't know, say transportation or any other reasons why somebody might not want to move into Boston and be here, we'd love that input as well.
Yeah, I think that's great. It's almost objection handling.
Exactly.
I do find it really funny, though, that how many people say that one of the objections is housing cost and,
Weather, transportation. It's the 3 biggies.
what are
weather.
the threes?
The 3 biggies are weather, housing costs, transportation.
So housing costs, I don't believe, because there's plenty of people in San Francisco moving.
100%. It's a non-issue. Weather and transportation, I'm gonna have to go with them on that one.
Absolutely. Good. So that's fantastic. So Luke, are you on? You want to give an update?
Or here, let me share my screen.
Absolutely.
Um,
And what Luke put, this is really important work that Luke is doing. We have all these colleges and no one's got a list except for Luke right now. So we've got to find a way to communicate with them easily. And this is great, Luke.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. So like Paul said, I have a list of student groups in Massachusetts, specifically at universities. Pretty much every university in Massachusetts, but most of them don't have AI clubs or machine learning clubs or data science clubs. And I actually just recently partnered with Ethos. The initiative is to help start AI clubs at universities, help grow, AI communities within students, bring people with similar interests together and build some great things. So I have a guide, how to start an AI club, which is kind of a compilation of advice that I learned from my time founding the UMass Data Science Club. And they also have a online teachable course for any students interested. With that, Ethos is also offering some other resources. I think they are hoping to give like the first 4 clubs or students who join like $250 each to use for setting up a club, food at meetings, stuff like that. So I guess my ask is if anybody knows any students at universities or professors or department heads or anything like that, if you're able to just give them the link to this Google Docs. I mean, that's all they really need, I guess. I put my email, my phone number and all that on the guide. So if any students have any questions or want advice, they can reach out to me anytime. And I think my goal would be to just start 3 new clubs this semester. Hopefully those do well. And then in the future semesters, get a few more clubs each time.
really fantastic work, Luke. And I'm so, I continue to be surprised how few clubs are there. I'm sure there'll be more that'll birth, or people just looking for a little leadership or being deputized to just go start a club, ask for permission later.
Luke,
Yeah.
really quick question. Sorry, Paul. Luke, is this specific to Massachusetts universities? I'm not looking to boil the ocean, but I have a very specific idea.
I mean, the list is just Massachusetts universities, but I'm happy to help anybody at any university. And I think Ethos never said has to be specifically for Massachusetts. So I think anybody is welcome.
Okay, good. Let's connect on that, because I have connections into Syracuse University, and we have thousands of alumni here in New England and Boston area, many in the tech and related fields. So let's connect on that, and let's see what I can do at Syracuse to get something jump started.
Sure, sounds great.
Okay.
Yeah. Christine and others, I know we've also talked, we're getting a lot of pull also to have a kind of a New York, Boston, New England-ish super hub or something. So that would fit right into that trend. Great. Retaining international students. So Lennox, are you on? I didn't see.
Yes, hi everybody, Ningxing here. Sorry,
Great.
I'm a little bit under the weather today, just come back from the trip in New York, but many exciting things to share. Returning international talent-wise, I've already submitted my proposal to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So I think they're gonna collaborate with a Mass Venture Charity to do more like capital deployment. And on top of that, I know I'm gonna organize an event, and finally it's happening. So I noticed that project might be taken out of the slide right now, but I'm like gonna post that in the chat box. It's gonna be called Bridging Boston to Global. So it's gonna be post the UNGA, which is just happening in New York last week, where all the global leaders came to the UN, states head, global public sector leader and private sector leader come all together to talk about the future use of the AI. And as a matter of fact, we come on with two kind of consensus. One is the Global Digital Compact. The other one is a Global AI Governance for Humanity. So I'm very happy to bring that voice back to Boston. And by the way, super proud because I see the MIT Solve and a couple of events are also launching in New York. So very proud of the Massachusetts. And in terms of that, we're going to do an intergenerational dialogue, and we're going to focus on the digital health transformation right now. So we're going to talk about how that would impact a future equity and especially the youth engagement. I think one of the reasons why I'm here at the AI Blueprint for Mass is also because, like, look, I'm one of the person who is still under 30 right now. So we would love to, bring that voice and bring that energy here. And we're aiming at 10:30. All the three speakers are already confirmed. One from Massachusetts government, the other one from the industry, the other one is an MIT Harvard graduate who is now an entrepreneur. So we're aiming at 7 p.m. Hopefully we're talking to the Harvard Student Club because that's how we can, get the venue over there. But I think recently, because of all the, politics things you're aware of, Harvard is a little bit more strict on allowing the external people to enter the campus. So the timeline to, process on the administrative side might be longer. That's a reason why I'm also searching for the other, Boston commercial sponsor and venue. And right now we're having several conversations as a backup. With that being said, if you know someone who can sponsor or open to do it, especially can provide, like light freshers, I'm very open to having a conversation. Especially we want to have this one in person and hybrid. I have already been having conversation with the Columbia University where I stayed during my time in New York. So we can, like collaborate with NY, and we can also collaborate with a global audience by bridging the stakeholder. But this is gonna be happening at the end of this month, right before the Halloween. On top of that, yeah, go ahead, Paul. Are you going to...
So the date's still TBD, but you're aiming for end of October?
October 30, that's a date that's confirmed by all three speakers. I think it take a while to coordinate. So the time-wise, that's gonna be set. Time is gonna be set. It's just a venue.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
And
so the ask is that people have venues. How big a venue do you need? Is it 50 people, 100 people?
yeah, I'm thinking about maybe starting from small. 50 people is very cozy and comfortable. But we do want to provide, the virtual option to include the people outside of the Boston to engage, because I do realize we need to put Boston in the global stage. And in order to do that, we need to, get more audience outside of the Boston, outside Massachusetts to join us. By the way, I saw Erica has already been doing the Mid Massachusetts. So that's amazing. But indeed, really want to bring the virtual format so we can engage more. I think another thing I can bring to the table, especially like after 6 months in Massachusetts now, get more familiar with the ecosystem. I think another thing I'm very passionate and I really can do it well is to be the liaison with the global, stakeholders. I have, very wide range of global networks with global shippers community that is like 14,000 young people under 30, but also, with an organization like UN and the World Economic Forum, and they're really happy to be kind of the point of contact and liaison to connect the Boston to, like greater global stage. So I think this dialogue might serve as a starting point. So let's start from small, get some continuous traction, and get more to come.
It's really exciting. So, and it sounds like if someone, I mean, 90% of office space is not being used. So if someone on the call is working for a company that's got a conference room that would hold 50, that can easily do Zoom, that might be one option, right? To reach out to you, correct?
Sure, yeah.
Super, thank you. Thank you. Let's keep driving. K through 12, lots of stuff on the education side. Is Java or others? Beth?
Yeah, we have a document that's been sort of sitting out there for a bit, and I just admittedly haven't been driving this one as much as being part of the playbook team, but I don't know if Java's on here. Really just read the materials, and looking at the second ask for the group, we're really looking for anybody who can provide data that would be appropriate for this level, or any no-code tutorials or tools for teachers that are already pre-built. We put some motivation in this document, but we haven't gone a step further because we're looking for some feedback first before we add more detail.
Great, wonderful. Joseph, I see you're on. We'll give you an update at the end of the thing here. Museum of Science, Christine, Kara.
Yep. Hi, everyone. Let's see. First, I wanted to just call attention to an event I put at the 9:07 point in the chat, as well as in the Slack. On October 10th, we have an event at the Harvard Club in Boston. So it's about the personalization and the monetization of AI. So really interesting. Dave Edelman from Harvard is going to be speaking along with a few other panelists. So please look at that and sign up if you're interested. There are a few more seats left. Moving on to Museum of Science. Today we have a meeting with Tim Ritchie and the leadership team to share AI Blueprint, what its mission is, some ideas on how we might be able to partner or host events and work with the museum to be mutually beneficial. An idea that just popped up on this call, I've already connected with Judah briefly on it. We have more to explore, is that perhaps some of the overage from the Heinz event could be used to sponsor a small event between AI Blueprint and Museum of Science. Again, very, very early on this idea, much more to be explored. We'll have more meaningful updates after today, so we're excited about that meeting. I know Debbie's already socialized, and Kara has already socialized this a little bit with Tim and the leadership team, so their interest is very keen. We just need to see what this looks like. In anticipation that it will be a successful meeting, meaning that we'll have some ideas and the opportunity to move forward, I want to ask everyone here to please submit any ideas to me, Debbie or Kara, on how your mini project might be able to be an event at the MOS. So looking for ideas and opportunity to, get more exposure and benefit the communities.
Really exciting. And Christine, so we kind of have so many great world institutions. So John Warner's doing all the stuff around MIT. Museum of Science is such a globally renowned institution here. Explain it, just share who Tim is and why we're doing all this planning, because it takes a while.
Tim is amazing. He came from San Francisco. We actually were able to get him to move from San Francisco to Boston to take on the leadership of the Museum of Science. And he is just a visionary leader. He's amazing. His energy, he understands and gets all of the connected dots between science and tech and AI and community building. And really what his vision is for the museum is to be not just a Boston or New England central point, but a global connector and central point for all things STEM. So we're at the very beginning of this journey and executing on Tim's vision, and it takes many different forms across many different communities and personas, if you will. So I think there's a lot of opportunity and great intersections here for both of these organizations to be able to educate and you know, just get a greater understanding on AI. And next year is every year the museum has a theme. Next year is the year of being human. And so there's a direct intersection there. This year it's on climate. Next year it's on the year of being human. So what does that mean from a technology and other points of view of, you know, and how the museum can help educate and inform and have interesting panels and discussions and events on how technology and science and the future of our human existence.
Yeah, it's really, really exciting. And I love how the Museum of Science views its mission as being a connector and a convener. It's really inspirational.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Christine. Let's keep driving. Amanda, are you on? I think she had to. What's that?
Saying she wasn't on today. We just been doing Google Fridays for everybody.
Okay. Event listing continue to doing well. David or Luke or Dan, any updates on that? This is the online listing on the AI Blueprint website, which is starting to show more and more usage. I think that's it. Joseph, you want to give a quick update on Dalamud, the stuff you guys are doing here, and then we'll open to any open questions.
Yeah. Hey, Paul, can you hear me?
We can, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. So just a quick update. We've been working on the Massachusetts AI ecosystem platform to aggregate all the AI resources in the state based on the same platform that we have for New Jersey and other regions. So we made it live. Initially, we were waiting for some partners in the state, but we couldn't attract any partners. So we just made it live to get feedback and see how we can add value to the ecosystem. So we've populated the platform with all the AI projects, showcases, people in the state. And what we're doing now is we're sending out claim your profile links to some folks. So it's open to anyone that has a Massachusetts business or academia email, and would appreciate your feedback. Eventually, we have several engagements overseas, like in Nigeria and the Middle East and Saudi Arabia. So eventually it's going to be like corridors between Nigeria, Massachusetts, Saudi Arabia, Massachusetts, California corridor. So any feedback that you have, I'd really appreciate it. I put the link in the chat, maai.daimless.com.
That's wonderful. Before we end, any other key updates people want to show? Did I see Sam Rowe on, or any other?
Yeah, Paul, if possible, just give a quick update on what we're doing with Kendall Project.
Go ahead, Brian.
We had a terrific workshops with learning and development professionals 2 weeks ago and attorneys yesterday. Christine Crowley, I see you on here. It's nice to have you yesterday. We have an accounting workshop coming up on October 17th and manufacturing October 23rd and bankers on November 7th with Mass Bankers Association. So those of you out there that have accountants that are looking to identify and prioritize AI opportunities, what we're doing with the Kendall Project is we're not just training professionals, but we're actually building a data set so that we can identify areas where AI priorities are in the Commonwealth. And the data set is growing with every workshop. And it's very clear from the learning and development professionals community that there's real need. So anybody who wants to learn more, please reach out to me, and happy to have all of you attend at some point.
Wonderful. Thank you. Last call for comments or notices. Great call, everyone. Thank you. We'll talk to you next month, and let's keep hopefully see a lot of you guys on Sunday at the AI Blueprint, 5:30 at Time Out Market. Bye.
See you then.